Hey everyone, Mark Dayton here today to show you guys how to write compelling articles, blog posts to actually generate leads. And right before I get into that, I need you guys to understand something when it comes to blogging. And the whole point of blogging is to relate to your reader. Whether you're doing this to sell products or to recruit into your organization, the key to recruiting is always having an emotional uh, relationship with the person that's joining your business. So the power of blogging is giving out emotion, sharing your story, getting down to parts that might even hurt for you to even share, right? And what's going to happen is the reader's going to read it, they're going to relate to it, and they're going to want to keep coming back to see what else you have to say because you're touching their heart. You're someone who is where they are now that broke free from it. And before, again, I get to the lead generation thing, I just need you guys to really focus on the heart of what you're doing, the vision that you have, where you started and where you are now. Even if you aren't what you think is successful, you still are growing. And I will say this in probably every single video I do. Success is not an event, it's a journey. It's just being better than you were yesterday, growing in your knowledge, growing in your skills, and just being better than yesterday, right? So I'm going to get into this because I have a lot of people waiting for this video of how to create compelling content that leads to lead generation. So here's my blog, themindofmark.com. The first thing that you need to do is think of a topic. Even before I go into this, stick with me for a second here. You need to blog every day because I sucked at blogging and I was terrible at it until I did it every single day for months and months, right? So the stuff I'm about to share with you, it may seem like it's very difficult to do, but if you just listen to me, because I have the experience here and I'm someone you could trust when it comes to blogging. Just keep doing it. I'm telling you, in like 3 months, you'll be the master of this stuff. So just really think deep about it. Get a journal out, write down some of this stuff. And so, yeah, let's go right into it. So the first thing you're going to do is obviously have the title of your post. And the best idea is to have an image underneath it. That's just how you do blogging. So for an example, since we want to reach the hearts of people, you want to really get emotional with them. I'm going to use this as an example. Today I want to talk to you about success, the myth and the reality, but I will get into that in just a minute. Read until the end. Right here is so key when it comes to writing compelling content because now you told them what you're about to talk about and they want to know about this. So you actually put it off for a minute and say, just read until the end, and that way the retention rate's higher when it comes to reading your blog. Next is you have to share your story. Now, this may be difficult for some people, but everyone has a story. It's just about digging deep and finding out what it is. So for an example, I'm talking about success here, right? So I want to get emotional. I want to relate to the reader. I want to tell a story of failure or realization, and then I want to share what I did to overcome it. So for an example with the story here, it'd be like, I was 22, I had a family, I had 2 kids, and I was struggling. I was working a full-time job, and they treated me like absolute crap there. I wasn't welcome, even though I was saving them tons of money. And I knew that my life was not meant to be working a 9 to 5 job, including the fact that I was working 40 plus hours a week and I was still struggling to do anything. All my money went to rent and bills, and take away all that time that I missed for my kids, it was really heartbreaking. And then here is where I'd share some moments that really just like tore me apart working a full-time job besides just being broke. And explain, then I would say how I quit my job and I came online because I saw the vision that all these people had of making tons of money online. But I got online and I was struggling still. I got online and I couldn't figure out how to recruit. I couldn't get people to join my business, and none of it made sense and none of it seemed real. and it absolutely destroyed me and hindered me even more. I thought I made a huge mistake, and I even considered getting another job again and giving up on my dreams of working online and working from home, making a huge income. And it wasn't until I found your business you're in that I had the financial breakthrough. I all of a sudden went from not being able to recruit to being able to recruit, 5 people every week into my business, and I started making triple the money that I did before. So that's just my example. And everyone has tons of stories. That's just one story. That's a story you usually hear from all successful people. But you need to share what you did to come over it. You have to explain the failure part. You need to share that you failed for the simple fact that people are going to relate to that, because most people are struggling, especially if they're coming online. It usually starts because they need something else, they need a change, and they just aren't making the money they need, right? So after you do all this, then you're going to go back to the first statement. So I shared my story, I shared my failures, I shared my realizations, and then I shared what I did to overcome it. And now I want to go back to this part. I want to talk to you about the success, the myth, and the reality. And I would say something like, it turns out this whole time I was successful, but I didn't know it because I was comparing myself to what other people had. I was comparing my success to my bank account. I was comparing my success to the items I owned. But it turns out that success is not an event. It's a process. It's just being better than who you were yesterday. It's about building yourself every single day and changing yourself until you reach your goals and hit your dreams. See, so I went right back to this, right back to the first post. So this is major key in writing compelling content. Compelling content is literally emotion driven content. It's your story. People will relate to your story. And the reason that people are recruiting so many people is because they can relate to that person. I mean, I'm not joining people in companies that I can't even relate to. Like, people join people that they like. People join people that went through everything they went through. So when you write blog posts to create leads, emotional, share your story, storytelling, and focus on that hurt you had. Get deep with it. Even if it's difficult for you to share, just share that hurt, share the struggle. And even if you don't see yourself as successful, share where you started and where you are now. Even if you personally don't think it's that far along. Compared to a lot of people that will be reading it, you're doing amazing. And remember that. You are always doing awesome. If you're growing, you're doing good. So never discredit yourself based off results. That's very important, kind of off subject. So, how do I get leads from sharing this story, from sharing my emotional roller coaster of my career? It's called a call to action. And this is, what do you want your reader to do next? A lot of people know or heard of a call to action, but it's pretty much, what do you want your reader to do? Sometimes it could be just to leave a comment and share your post. But since we are talking about lead generation with compelling content, it's going to be a little bit different than just like and share and comment. So I'm going to share with you what I would put for my call to action on this. So here's my example. I would put, I'm sure if you're reading this, you have also felt the pain that I did, to look your kids in the eyes and say, I can't give you that. The pain of not feeling like you were able to give your family the life they deserve. Right now, it is important for you to change this. If you need this breakthrough I had, if you need the change in your life, and I would add some more stuff, and then I would put, then what you need to do next is, remember that line, write it down somewhere right now, memorize it. What you need to do next is, because now you're telling them exactly what to do. And as you can see here, I always use this stuff because it's so much better just to tell them what they need to do. Because obviously they are struggling and they need to change, so it's best if they have someone telling them what to do instead of saying, well, maybe you should check this out, because they're hurting, so they just need that push. So first, go to ohmygod.marcusfreakingsexy.com. 2, put in your name and email. 3, watch the video. And 4, make the decision to get in today. right? You're getting started today. That's what I wrote. I think it's absolutely powerful to add this last line in too. Tell them to get in. Tell them to get their credit cards out. Actually, in some of my call to actions, I say that. I'll say, put in your name and email, watch the video, pull out your credit card, and press the buy button. Now, I know some people like that's ballsy, but it works. I mean, if you're telling someone to do something, they're going to do it most of the time. And then always end your blog post with something like this. Always put your picture, have your name, the tagline. So for me, it's Mark Dayton, leading the masses to breakthrough. And I put something, I'm here for you. If you ever need anything, help, training, motivation, or just a friend, simply reach out to me. And then I have another call to action link here, learn how to make up to $500 a day blogging. They click it, and then there's a business opportunity there. I put my phone number because I use Google Voice, so it's not like they have my actual phone number, but I can still contact them as if it was my mobile phone. Put my email, and of course at the top of my blog, I actually have Facebook here. So guys, doing this, sharing your story, sharing emotions, sharing the emotion with the reader, being real, and then telling them what to do is how you're going to start creating leads from your content. Now, in another video, I'll explain traffic and how to get traffic there, but right now you need to focus on learning how to tell your story. So I would suggest every week, write at least 2 to 3 articles that you're sharing a story. And we all have tons of stories. We don't have just one story. We have tons of different stories that we could relate, that people can relate with us with. So emotional story, how you failed and what you did to overcome it, and then tell the reader what do they need to do next. I hope you guys got some major value out of this. Again, you could go to my blog. I'll always have some awesome stuff there. If you check it out every day, I'm always blogging. It's just themindofmark.com. And if you come here, you could find me on Facebook. And feel free to message me anytime. I do tons of training and mentorship for absolutely free just to help you out. So don't be afraid to get a hold of me sometime. And please, if you got value from this and you learned something, share it, because you don't know the person that's on your friends list that this video could give them the breakthrough, and they will be thanking you for sharing the video. So make sure you share this for me. And again, themindofmark.com. This is Mark Dayton, and get blogging right now.